Hey everybody, Captain Nathaniel Lemmon, FloridaSightFishing.com. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We just kicked over the calendar, it's 2024, and this is actually pretty much the nicest weather day we've had since then. So I thought this was a perfect chance to get out here and get you guys another video. And actually, if you've fished with me at all or know anything about me, in the last I've got 19 years now, I've always done an annual slideshow of 50 of my favorite photos from the year. And they're not necessarily some of the biggest fish, but a lot of them are the biggest fish or the best fish, but just memorable trips that we had throughout the year. I've done this every year. I always think it's a highlight. Everybody talks about it. Everybody on the boat's like, I didn't see myself in the slideshow. And my response is, well, we need to fish more and catch bigger, better fish and get you in there for the next time. So in this video today, I'm going to throw up those 50 photos. You'll see them popping up here over my shoulders. Hope you like them. There'll be big redfish, big trout, big snook, black drum, winter time, summertime, fall time. These are just a variety of photos throughout the year. Again, kind of like my top 50 photos. It's actually kind of hard to choose them, but these are my top 50 photos. But let's get into this because actually I'm out here today at the beginning of the year and it's been really cold. Our water temps are really cold right now. The fish are all schooling up, so I'm actually out here for you, poking around in some of these creeks, just trying to find out where there's another collection of fish that nobody knows about yet. So I'm up here behind the inlet today, kind of poking around, looking in some of the feeder creeks and already finding schools of redfish laying up on the mud banks. In fact, there's a big school of mullet right here in this hole underneath me, a big roe mullet. There's hundreds of them right now swimming around underneath me here. But let's get into talking a little bit about what's been biting, because these reports are for you, to kind of talk to you about what we've been catching for the past month, some of the bite activity, and hopefully you make a decision that you want to get out here and spend a day with me and see some of this. So right now it's been a lot of black drum actually lately. There's some big schools of black drum forming on the flats and they've been biting really well. We've had some days where we just fished them for a couple hours and caught 10 and went and did something else. So catching a lot of black drum. They're going to be pretty much a mainstay from now all the way till April. We'll find them here and there. If we can't find really anything else that's biting, a lot of times the black drum are a good fallback option. They pull hard, they eat if they do everything right. Sometimes we catch them on fly rod. They're like a non-predatory fish, so they kind of don't like attack bait fish or anything. So we catch them on shrimp, crabs, lures, fly rod. Just depends on kind of the mood they're in, but we'll find schools of hundreds of them. The one school we've been fishing, it's 200 or 300 fish, and like I said, we can usually yank out 8 to 10 of those if they're cooperating. So other than the black drum, we're targeting a lot of redfish. I mean, redfish is going to be pretty much the epic things of the winter. Like I said, I'm looking around now trying to find some more, but they're starting to school up. They're falling out of, we've had a lot of high water and they're starting to fall out of these areas now and collect into bigger schools. So the groups I'm seeing right now are anywhere from 30 to 50 fish. We did have a couple others that were holding, upwards of 100, but it seems like they're breaking apart pretty fast as soon as it does warm up a little bit and the water fluctuates. The water will continue to drop over the next month or two, and these schools are going to get bigger. Right now they still got a little room to move, so when the water comes in, they're quickly departing and breaking up. But as the water level continues to drop throughout January and stays consistently low, and these fish are forced to live out in the open bays and on the open flats, that's when we'll find the schools of 100, 200 fish as the winter goes on. Next up, we've got big trout. Man, that's my favorite thing to do. If you know me, if you fished with me, you know I love big trout fishing. And from now through about June, July is when we catch the biggest ones of the year. Saw some tanks in the past week. They won't be in this slideshow, but some of the photos I have that are going to be coming out probably in my next report, I mean, you're going to see some trout bellies that are huge. We've caught, I think, 4 over 7 to 8 pounds just in the last week. Some other ones that are like 25-inch range. Saw one that was guaranteed a 12-pounder. It was over 34 inches. And a couple others that are pushing that 30-inch mark. So starting to see some big ones. They are lethargic, and sometimes they aren't willing to really cooperate. But if we can hang in there and put a little patience on them, we usually do connect on 1 or 2, and then they kind of shut down. They just are pretty lethargic when it's this cold. But if you, like I said, if you give them a little time, be a little patient, and don't spook them off, we can usually get 1 or 2 to bite. As we get more into the spring and summer, we start to catch a lot more every day. This time of the year is really about targeting the big ones and trying to target the sight cast the big ones. So we sacrifice quantity for quality. We don't do a whole lot with the smaller trout, but we do catch them. You know, the little peanut trout that are 10 to 15 inches or so. We do find them from time to time, but they aren't really a big menu item for me this time of the year. I've actually swapped that out for snook, because we, like in here in some of these creeks, I find schools. There was a creek around the corner I just checked that had probably 200 to 300 snook that were all 10 to 25 inches laying up on the bank. Pretty much catch one every single cast. Got the fly rod out, started stroking them on the fly rod too. The smaller ones are going to be the ones that are most aggressive, 10 to 15 to 18 inches. The bigger ones, usually you get 1 or 2 bites, and then they're just going to shut down. They're like the big trout. They're cold. They don't want to bite. Sometimes you can pull one in and get one to bite, but then they pretty much are kind of lockjaw on you, and we'll sit there and watch every bait and lure you throw, and they just part right out of the way and come right back into formation right after it swims through. So the younger ones, the smaller ones, they're a lot more active. They're quicker to come out and kind of grab the bait for you. That's pretty much it for the winter time. Nothing's really going to change this month. Next month, we just roll with the weather and avoid the cold fronts avoid the thunderstorms that come with the cold fronts. The backsides are usually pretty windy, and then you get days like this where the sun's out, and it's going to push upper 60s to close to 70 degrees today, which is a far cry from the 30 to 40 degree boat rides we've had in the morning, and only daytime highs in the 50s or 60s. Still catching a lot of fish, but hey, it's Florida. I mean, are there not worse places to be in January? We could be dealing with shoveling snow, or blizzard conditions, or the polar vortex that they're talking about, and how everybody's going to be inundated with cold weather. Sun's out here, it usually warms up, and there's worse places to be than Florida in January. So I hope you liked the slideshow. I didn't, keep pointing at all the pictures, but I hope you liked the slideshow that shot in the background, or of all the 50 photos I thought were great from 2023. Can't wait to make another one for 2024, but that takes everybody coming out and fishing with me and us making more memories and getting the photos. So I think it's going to be a fantastic year. I hope you have a fantastic year. 2023 was amazing. It was one of the best years of my life. I know a lot of people talk about it was a bad year, but I'm like, 2023 was literally one of the best years of my life. So hopefully 2024 is exactly the same, or even better. I mean, if it's even better, so be it. But it should be a great year of fishing. I hope to see you out here on my boat, and we can catch some fish too. Okay? Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Merry Christmas. Let's get out here and do it soon. Again, 386-212-4931 is the phone number. Shoot me a text message, give me a call, send me an email, visit my website, floridasightfishing.com, and let's get out here and do this, okay? If you like the video, definitely give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. These are monthly features, so hopefully you'll tune in. Give it a thumbs up. All right, tight lines. Bye-bye.